Welcome to In Between the Pages with James Lott Jr. I'm James Lott Jr. And we're going in between the pages. I was thinking, like, where's my books? Okay, here's my book. There we go. It's like, where's my books? I got a couple books right here. I'm gonna give you some truth about these books, okay? Because some of you guys are like, how'd you write all these books? So this podcast is all about writing and the gloriousness of writing. People are writing books all the time. I have some friends who are like, I kind of want to write a book, but I don't know what I want to write about, or I work in a certain field and I want to write a book to be a companion piece to my field. Should I do it? Like, what's going on? So I'm just going to talk plainly to you about books. I've written, or should I say, I've published over 60 books. Some of them are co-written. Many of them are myself. But either way, it doesn't matter if you write 3 pages or 300, it's still writing something towards a book. One of the things that I love writing. So I think that is number one on the call sheet. You have to enjoy writing. Because if you don't enjoy writing, I think it's going to be a harder. I'm not saying you can't write a book and not enjoy writing. I think it'll be a little harder. That's what I think. Yeah, I think it'll be harder, but you can do it that way. But for me, the truth is, I like to write. I like the discovery of if it's a fiction book or nonfiction, what's coming out of me. I love it. I think it's a great discovery of something. You're like, wow, I didn't know I had that in me, or I didn't know that was coming. Or if I'm doing something that's nonfiction, it's very much, oh, I'm sharing this. I need to go into detail. I need to make sure this person gets it. When it goes to nonfiction, it's more of the discovery of letting the characters give me a journey, take me on a journey, let people take me on a journey, whatever it is. A song, a poem. So anyway, we're talking about books right now. So books, the plain truth is, I feel like you should enjoy writing on some level. Number two, what are you going to write about? We come up with ideas all the time. I have ideas for books all the time. Now, what I do sometimes is I'll start it out. I'll start writing whatever my ideas. I try to write down whenever I have my ideas. I try to write them down. There are times when I'm not sure if it's a song, a poem, an audio drama, a short story, or a book. I don't know sometimes. I write it, and I let the writing decide for me. It kind of tells me after I get it out, after I purge it out, what it is. But I write out any ideas on note paper. I have notes, notepads, notes online, whatever. Write it out, have it on paper, have it out, have it on something, so you can look it over, and then you can decide if you want to expand on it or if this is what it is or whatever. So you got to do that. Get the idea out. Now, you may not be able to flesh out the idea. That's the whole point right away. You may have to start something, put it away for a while, and come back to it, which I've done several times. Then there are times when my hand can't stop typing or writing, and I have to get it, and this whole story comes out at once. My friend Flo Boyce laughs, who's been a guest on the show, laughs because I dream sometimes my stories. So I'll wake up and I'm trying to type as fast as I can to get it out. It's in my brain, just kind of downloading. That's something very interesting, right? So that's kind of what I do. So then that's good. And then but you have to have an idea of what you want to write ultimately to finish a book. What you got to think about, what is the thought? Can I write it? Who's the audience? The truth. Can't get think about that beforehand too. It can be open to everybody. Anybody can write a book. It's a book for everybody. But it's kind of good sometimes to have a certain audience, because then when you're writing the book, you're writing it to that audience also. You kind of, it's keeping you within the lines of like some structure and purpose, and sometimes motivation. We're doing one of the books that I'm writing right now, co-writing right now, is a young adult book. And we have, and we also kind of say in the title, I haven't released the title of the book yet, but on some level, on the title, we have like an adults too. It's for young adults, but adults can also buy the book and it can get gain some insight to it also. That's kind of the point. It's almost like saying, if you talk to your 14-year-old self, what would you say, kind of thing. That's what this kind of is. So it's very interesting to do that. It's not easy writing books, even when you like writing. There's some days you're just not in the mood, and there's some days you just want to get through it. These are two of my latest books, Searching for Walter and These Two Words. Searching for Walter is an unreleased audio drama I've written. And this is a book I co-written, it's words. All that stuff, formats, titles, all that kind of stuff, that to me is all last on some level. A lot of times the story will inform all of that later. And so it's not super important. There have been times when I've had the title first and filled it in. Other times I've had the story first and got a title later. Not that important to me. I don't think so much. You'll get there. You'll get there. I mean, a title is important ultimately, obviously. But I just think it's okay. I was gonna say, so know the truth. Do people need your book? Will your book actually do anything for the culture, for the world? Will it do people really need it in the world? It's one of those things. It's like some of us feel so strongly, I gotta get this out there. People need to see what I'm saying and blah blah blah. But really, dude, I mean that's ego talking. Do people really need to see what you're talking about? It's kind of funny. Where you feel self-important. I write these books, I have fun, I like writing them. I feel like anybody can get them and have some fun. They're easy reads. My first organizing book, it took me 4 years to even put it out because I was like, does anybody get so many organizing books out there? Then people told me I have a following of sorts. They want to follow the James Lott Jr. Organizer way. So please share the book because it might reinforce some of the other stuff that they've read or give you another option. I guess there is as many ways to organize as there are or people who are disorganized. And everybody's different. But I really did, for myself, I said, take ego out of it, James. You want to have a book, but does it? And I'm finding that it's true. And that my voice is different enough that people would want to know what's going on and see what I'm saying. I've been interviewed about it. So I have 2 new books coming out. I'm working on right now, organizing books I'm working on right now. So, and they're very specific to me. Because when you do a book, especially in a field where it's a self-help or like some kind of helpful book, make sure your point of view is in there, that it's definite, that it's there. People know when they read it, yes, that is James Lott Jr.'s The Super Organizer's Way. But really, you have to ask yourself, if I write a book, would it really do anything to enhance what's out there? Do you have anything to say that's not being said? Which some people they have some great books like there's just stuff not being said. Is there a segment of population you want to speak to where things are certainly said or brought to the open? Representation matters, right? We're talking any kind of book. So it's like, self-help, fiction, stories, soap opera stuff, whatever. Just it's what you have to say and put out there. Will it do something to the landscape? And that's really the truth, though. I mean, because there's books I see, and I'm like, there's no reason for it to be written. But I would never tell anybody to not write a book. You got it in you, write it, put it out there. I love books. I have books everywhere. Of course, I have no right near me. I do have good books. Like someone wrote this book. So I got several books right near me. I gotta do this. I got stuff everywhere. Everything's over here. I gotta put stuff. Oh, that goes over there. All my notes. Like this book, Love Notes to Myself by Tanya Carol Richardson. Now, what's so funny is there's a nice affirmations. I've been trying to get her on the show. She actually sent me the book to be on my show, and I have not heard from her. I've sent emails and I haven't heard anything back. So I'm trying to get her on the show, folks. Trying to get on the show. It's a great book. Love Yourself Unconditionally. So, but she felt she had something to say. She's a professional intuitive. And she has several books: Self Care for Empaths, Are You an Earth Angel, Zen Teen. So she's here for self help. And self help is one of those things where you're like, what you have to say, does it really help someone's self? And in some cases, it's yes, just the fact of who you are. If you are a person who is not that represented out there to people, then yes, write that book. You have the luxury not to write that book. If you're Indian or South Asian, American, African American, Latino, whatever the case may be, if there's a certain subject you don't see much of our representation in, you have an inkling to write a book, then I say do it. Oh, I completely do it. It's worth it. So so there's that too. There are some folks who want to write a book because they want to. So they did. I do it. I mean, you should never try. There's people out there I know that have written books. I'm like, where's the sequel? I want to hear a sequel. And they're not feeling it. I'm like, well, I'm trying not to make them go, come on, I come a story for you, but you have to want to write the story. You can't make people do anything. You have to want to write the story. But writing books is not easy. Some people shouldn't write books. Don't know who they are, but so just not everybody's meant to write a book. They always say project. They always say have products when you're in this business, but maybe it's something else. I know some folks do ebooks, really short and quick to the point. But I'll do brochures, pamphlets that have all the stuff that they want to say on there in their branding. I mean, it's fine. Not everybody has. I like having a book because I like writing books. It's always a dream. But for like the organizing, I like having a book because it's out there and it has my point of view. People can get it and be a super organizer themselves on some level. That's why I like it. But writing books are not this is they just sit down and do it. You have to be disciplined, want to do it, and have fun. I have fun writing my books. When it becomes so heavy, it's like, ugh, I would say, I don't write. Just don't. I let it go. So that's a little something, some little truths about writing books. That if you want to write a book, you don't. If you have something in you, make sure it's clear and concise. It's a point of view. Whether you want to do it yourself, like I do, release it myself, or get a publisher, be 100% in, or 1,000% in, just be in. And I wish everybody the best. I love books. I love reading books. I love people's stories, fiction or nonfiction. I love all that stuff. So I'm always encouraging more books out there. We'll do more on this subject later. This is I would say this is part one. We're going to talk more about the whole book writing process. But you can get my books at Amazon.com. They're everywhere. The latest ones are these two words and searching for Walter. New books coming out. Working on them currently. So don't you worry, kids. It's coming out. I got all this crap over here. I forgot. Now I got a little basket. There we go. It goes over there. But we are here for you with books. So Amazon.com and support local indie writers. See you next time.